Hi, I'm Dr. Nicole Vane, the owner of Moonlight Beach Dental, and this is part of a video series on dental insurance to help our patients and consumers in general better understand how it works and what that really means. So for most people, dental insurance and any insurance we think of as security, right? If something goes really wrong, I'm going to be covered. So I have medical insurance. I've actually been a perfectly healthy person. I take no medications. The only thing that's happened to me significantly in the past 18 years is that I've had a baby. So I really am not using my medical insurance other than for a checkup. But I have it in case anything happens to me, like if I was in a coma or a car accident or something horrendous happened, I know that if I had $1 million medical bill that I'd be covered. But dental insurance isn't like that at all. So dental insurance came out in 1970. And what's very unusual about it is that it hasn't changed at all since its inception back then. So it used to be a really great thing. You got $1,000 worth of benefits. Now, just so you're aware, that hasn't changed at all with inflation. So back in the day, in 1970, you were covered for several root canals if you needed it, several crowns if you needed it. If you were breaking teeth, if you needed anything restored, insurance would actually cover it. But nowadays, that same $1,000, if you take into account inflation and what each procedure now costs and the billable procedures, you're not going to believe this. That same $1,000, which is still the norm, $1,000 to $1,500, should be $12,365. That is just crazy. So no insurance out there is going to pay $12,000. Essentially, what we call insurance is a benefit. So it's a benefit, it's a coupon. So instead of a crown being $1,500 as the cash fee, your insurance is going to say, we'll only pay $1,000, and you, the patient, are only going to have to pay half of that if we deem the crown is needed. So you're saying, wow, I have a $1,500 procedure, and my out-of-pocket is only $500. That's great, and I still have another $500 to use. And most people perceive it as getting their 2 free cleanings and checkups a year. So don't get me wrong, if you have a dental insurance, keep it. If someone's paying for it, your employer's paying for it, that's wonderful. But you really have to understand what you're getting out of it is just a very, very minimum in what they'll cover. So it's a great coupon. It's better than having nothing. But if you are someone who doesn't need much dentistry, or you're not really in fear of having something go on, you'd still only be covered to $1,000 worth. So if you were in a horrible bike crash like my cousin, where she broke 10 of her teeth in her jaw, her medical insurance covered for her jaw to be fixed, but her teeth were left for her out of pocket. So she got 1 tooth covered, which one of the teeth out of the 15 that were broken, she got a root canal and crown covered. And the rest she had to find a way to pay for. That was over $25,000 worth of dentistry. And there's no letter of appeal we can write on your behalf. There's no photos we could submit that would show the insurance that this is actually dentistry that you need, that isn't just simply an elective procedure. So therefore, this whole security notion isn't really secure. You're not really going to be taken care of by your dental insurance. You're only going to be taken care of up to $1,000. The other thing that's really interesting to me about it is that your benefits and premiums don't change. So unlike medical insurance, where I could pay my deductible and then exercise a much larger portion, say I needed a lot of dentistry that year, like my cousin, she could have paid, say, $5,000 out of pocket to exercise the $25,000 in dentistry she needed. There's actually no such clauses that will allow you to flex your pay that way. Then, since then, actually her accident was almost 10 years ago, she hasn't had a cavity. Well, her insurance premiums didn't go back down saying, oh, now all you're paying for each year is your cleanings and your checkups, so we're going to have you pay less. So I really don't like that the benefits don't flex on your behalf based on your level of need. It should be something that correlates a little more like medical insurance. The last part that I find really interesting and a bit upsetting is now that I'm in my 15th year of practice, that there's no payment based upon credentials. So essentially, insurance views me exactly the same as the me that was 1 month out of dental school. So the fees that they're paying are based upon the fact that they're viewing the quality of care to be equal from a baby dentist who just graduated from school versus someone like me who's completed over $100,000 in extra continuing education to explore things like understanding complex bites and cosmetics. So it's a little bit disturbing that they want to pay $17 for a comprehensive exam when we're spending over an hour, hour and a half with each patient working up their case and exercising all the knowledge that we've invested in. So that's really something to consider when you're looking at someone who says, this is an in-network dentist and I really want to go to them because they're going to take more of my insurance. You really have to be careful at what you're looking at, because insurance will still pay for an out-of-network provider as long as it's a PPO plan, not an HMO plan. They'll pay it at a different percentage, but a lot of times it's still very favorable for the patient. So I just wanted to have people be informed about what they're doing and what they're making their decisions based on. Because it really shouldn't be just on if a person's in network with the insurance, but it should really be on the quality of the provider, the level of dental care that you're going to need, and also the fact that you want to make sure that your dentist is well trained and is going to stand behind their work. So just to give you an example, many of the insurance fees that people are not accepting, some people, I had a patient yesterday that said she's not even using hers because there was only one dentist in town, and I'm in San Diego, a very large area, that would take her insurance, and it was a clinic, and she just felt the quality of care wasn't to standard. Just so you're aware, as a provider, some of these insurances are paying a couple $100s for a procedure that actually in materials cost and time costs me twice that. So a lot of dentists are going to have to take a loss or make up for it in volume on what they'll do to compensate for what the insurance will reimburse. So the issue becomes, do you really want someone just trying to crank out dentistry, seeing 10 people at a time and using subpar materials so that they can try and make a profit off of the small portion that they're being reimbursed for? Or would you rather choose someone that's more conservative with their approach, who takes a lot more time with their patients, who's focused on the quality of care, who warranties their work? To me, that sounds like a much better investment versus, well, my insurance paid 25% more for me to go to this person versus this person. So I hope you find this information useful, because I've really found this process enlightening in my 15 years of practice. I find it very unfortunate that insurance won't pay for the level of care that people deserve and the level of care that I would want for my own mouth and for my own family. So be careful when you're choosing a plan, and feel free to call any of our front desk here at our office. They're all going to be advocates for you and your health, as well as advocates in helping you utilize your dental insurance benefits. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video.